We should be streaming now. I'll just keep an eye on the stream manager. Yep, looks like we're up. It'll probably be a few minutes before anyone else joins in. Oh, actually, I do remember there was something that I was supposed to have up on screen. So uh, I'll just turn off the video just in case
Yeah,
there's like any logins or anything. Um,
mhm,
yeah.
makes sense.
So I'm not logged in. Um, I need to bring up the Google Sheet. Um, okay. Uh, sorry, I'll be back in a I'll, I'll be back in a minute. I'll just leave the video turned on. I just need to get my phone because I've got to do some two-factor authentication.
Okay.
Need to grab my phone. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the display again for a second while I try to finish. Okay, I think we're all good now.
I see a spreadsheet. All
Yep.
good.
All right. Now it said like we've got well, it looks like we've got 4 viewers. Uh, just is can one of us sorry, can one of you let us know if audio sounds all good from both of us?
Brilliant.
Yep. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce this. Thank
The
you.
audio for me is loud. I can. Is that
Oh.
any better?
No, don't change anything at your side. I'll try to I'll just bring this down a bit.
Okay.
I'll just try it at -10 or thereabouts. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking, testing, 1, 2.
Yep. Is it better now? Okay, great. I think we're all good. So, thanks for joining the stream. So just about the agenda of today's stream. I want to get Scorpion Engine 2025 stable for release, and as part of that process, I go over all the demos uh, that I've worked on or are in the unofficial uh, pack to just give them a good test on all the systems that are supported on, and just make sure there's no egregious bugs. Nothing so serious that it's going to stop 2025 from being released. But we're gonna so we're doing a couple of things to make this a little bit more interesting. So one thing is we are testing the unofficial demos. So these are the ones that do not come with Scorpion Engine itself, and include demos not just from me, but from the broader community, different things that people have made, and um, yeah, also I've got Yan writing shotgun so that he can ask any questions about any of these projects if there's anything he's interested in, like how X or Y was done. And of course, if you've got any questions yourself in the chat, just let us know. So and I think after so I'm going to try to test all of them. After I've done the test, I might swing back around and then see what we can do to improve some of these or make them a bit more cross-platform. Like, for instance, this Ace Attorney demo that I'm starting with, this one is for Amiga only. So we could maybe take a quick look at what we can do to make this, this more cross-platform.
It was a few years ago when I first had a look at this particular demo. It may have been my first foray into Scorpion Editor, and all I did was try to change some of the text so I could say, "Hey, look, Mum, I've changed some of the text." You know what I mean?
Mm.
It didn't go far, but yeah.
Well, this was actually one of the very first, well, one of the earliest Scorpion Engine demos, and of course it's very different to what most people use Scorpion Engine for, like full-blown visual novel. But doing this did allow me to oh, it's just frozen right from. Oh, that is not a good sign. It looks like it might be frozen from startup. Do I need to? Is there a memory issue? Let's have a look at what our what thinks it's going to need. Okay, so that's well under 2 meg, so that should fit nicely into A1200 RAM.
Is it set?
Let's try starting it from that code block. So I'm going to start case 1. Yeah, unfortunately not a very good omen from the very first game on the list is broken. Hopefully the others will have less issues.
I've got a question. It says select when UAE config. I didn't see one selected. If it's OCS that your target platform is, does that mean it just defaults to OCS settings?
Yeah, I think by default this one here is set to A500, but you can set it to anyone. It basically means that if you haven't got a WinUAE configuration set, it will just emulate this specific machine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so is there a problem with the TalkPad? TalkPad should be fine. I'll put that into just in case. So it must have gone down to here at least, and then it crashed. It could be some problem with running the TalkPad during the level. But yeah, sorry. What I think what I was going to say before is that because this one was so different, because it needed okay, no, that that works. So is there a problem with running it from start? But yeah, but because it was so different, it meant that I had to implement these dialogue systems for, not only displaying text but displaying multiple choices that can be turned on and off. And
Mm.
even though that doesn't get used that much, it was worthwhile to do because, for example, the Fantasy Star demo relies on it quite heavily.
Yeah, that is a rather awesome piece of game by is it Minars 69?
Yes, Monos. I did ask if it was Uh, I did ask if it was Mono Z or Monos, and he said it's Monos. I'm wondering if there is a problem with using yield with fade-ins. Yeah, because Mono's actually mentioned some issues with using yields and fade-ins, and he fixed it by switching to weights. So I'm wondering if there is an outstanding bug with using um, yield instead of weight uh, along with talk pads. So what I will do is I will do a find and replace here. Right, good morning, Zupadan. Right, I'll try that again. I'll be clear what the difference between weight and yield is. Weight basically says freeze the game for X number of frames until this is done. Yield basically says keep the game running for for this period of time, and then like a second later do this other thing.
Okay, I've not seen much of hang on, let me rephrase what I was going to say. I've not used the weight functionality before.
Mm.
I've always relied on various yields, which have mostly worked. There's been the odd occasion where it has actually backfired on me. Thank you, Neo Geo.
Yeah, sorry, I think it's this fade is affected by the this fade is affected by the
Yeah.
weight that's immediately after. I'll change that all back. Um, what I will do is I can go while GV while brightness is less than fade time. Then I can go wait one. So that will force it to wait until fading is finished. I probably should have a proper function for that. But yeah, I think yield and weight have sort of very different. Well, they do have um, different applications. Oh, and I'm going to reduce this by half. Um, but yeah, it's one of the things that trip people up about yielding is that sometimes, like if there's a projectile and then they yield and then they say do something else to this projectile, depending on what timer they use, that projectile might not be what it was before.
Oh yeah, because you've got the time on the projectile, the actor, player, and the level one, right?
Hmm. Okay, so far looks like it's working, but I'm going to make a note of bugs to fix. I'm just going to ask if yield is breaking fade in. Um, hmm. All right, so let's back to that. Which I should make that full screen. Is that the full screen on the? No, it's not full screen on the stream. Um,
It's just in the top left there.
yeah. So I just need to make sure that that is set to native, and then let me. Whoops! Oh dear. That's that's something that happens in the more recent versions of WinUAE. If I open Shift F12, it's like it forgets the settings that come from the command line.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
mentioned
probably
this the
should,
other day. Yeah.
but it doesn't seem to happen if I've got like a WinUAE configuration. So I'll leave it at that size for now. I might need to see if I can do some sort of bug report. Like I'll need to set something up to prove that there's an issue and not just say there's an issue.
Yeah, like
Oh,
a good test case for it. I think with what you've just said about the Alt and Enter, and also with the other thing where pushing F12 has for like a similar effect, could be the same cause, and that if it's reading for keyboard commands that do things to the emulator rather than inside the emulator, then it causes the settings from the command line just to be lost to the abyss.
mm. Unfortunately, I've got multiple of these. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna need to. Sorry, I've got multiple of these places where it fades in. So I'm
Hmm.
gonna need to create a code block that. Um,
You can go
yeah.
to possibly inline and
Mm. Yeah, I think inlining should be fine. So in fact, if I
could include
yeah, if I go
maybe
replace,
with fading and the yield in it as well.
yeah, uh, in, replace it with inline safe thing. Uh, or is it in? Uh, right. Okay, let's do uh, certain characters, and so I should be able to. There we go. That will be better. What? Oh, uh, no, I won't worry about fixing the yield. It just makes the fade-ins a bit longer. But I want to see if that's the only bug or if there are other bugs. Um, um, and I've got quite a few code blocks here, so I just want to do a quick search across all of them. That's one of the really good things about this uh, code blocks 2 format is just being able to find yeah, being able to do find and replace like this. Now these ones are not actually using yields after them, so maybe that's the only, maybe it's just the intro sequence I need to change here. Okay, so hopefully that's going to be better.
Hmm.
Um,
I see.
I'll change Anywhere else I've got no, I'll try that. Hopefully that's fixed it for now. I did want to get a little way into the game so that I can test
You can.
um the decision trees.
Hmm. It'd be core functionality of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't let you get to a decision until you've gone through several cutscenes. Zubadan asked if the advanced refresh frame is basically V-weight. It's a little more than that because it does do like updating the player controls and such. So yeah, if you've got a loop with refresh frame, you can still read the player's controls. But I mean, essentially, it is just sort of waiting for the next frame. It doesn't update the game logic, but it does update the controller settings or the controller state. Okay, so far so good. So yeah, it is weird that yield breaks a fade in. Um, and Mono's actually reported that, but I assumed it was something completely unrelated. So, but at least now I've got a quick and easy way to test it.
Like a very fast, very good workaround, I've got to say, and of which there's many in my project because, well, I keep on saying I'll go back and make things a bit more tidy, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Mm.
I think
Well,
it's because I'm working towards the deadline at the end of is it February for the AMI Game Jam?
so the game you've shown me is that for Emmy Game Jam?
It is indeed.
Well, it'd be a really good fit for what they want. Okay, so let's get this one wrong. Defended with me. Okay, let's okay, well defendant is Larry Butts. And the other system that I need to check is that so the dialogue is working, decisions are working, but we need to make sure um, like we can show or hide choices depending on logic. So the actual name of the victim is not on this list here, so we need to view the court record. We need to go into profiles. Okay, now we've seen some text about the victim, so we can go back, and then should be able to say, yep, so it's in the stone as the victim. Yeah, okay, well, I think
Basic
I
logic
will,
seems to work, doesn't
yeah,
it?
so I'll tick that one off as yeah, I still need to investigate why yield is breaking fade in, but that is one I'll come back to. So next one, bad apple. So this is one of the most sort of esoteric projects I've done, and this oops, what? Oh, this is probably because this is a music file that's for Amiga. I haven't got the music for Neo Geo. I probably should. I could probably just like if I can find the Bad Apple MP3. Um, should be
MP3
able to
would
play.
work with Neo Geo.
Sorry, what's that?
Wow, that's So MP3s work just getting played via the engine on Neo Geo, or do you need to
Yeah.
convert it to a different format?
No, no. In fact, I'll just really quickly switch projects. So under Neo Geo, we've got Neo Geo CD and ADPCMB music,
Okay.
and so okay, so I'm on Neo Geo CD mode. If I switch to Neo Geo Home Console, you'll see it's got this tick box is ADPCMB, and
Yeah.
so that uses ADPCMB. So that um, that's a lot more compressed than the samples that are on uh, the ADPCMA samples on Neo Geo Game, and so that's you should be able to hear. Well, I don't know if you can hear that over the over my call. I guess probably not, but yeah. So
Yeah,
that
I can't hear that.
yeah, all right. It'll be hopefully
It's
audible
the
on the
demos, isn't it?
stream,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, so you notice, so if we're in a home console mode, it will say play ADPCMB. If we switch the CD console mode, it will say play CD track. And because the
Okay.
ADPCMB hardware is not on the Neo Geo CD, it substitutes out the
Ooh.
CD music.
I was not aware of that. Okay, that's good to know.
Um, I still haven't implemented 100% of Neo Geo audio hardware. Like the driver I'm using, the what's it called? Mesostate driver. It has proper support for the FM audio on the
Oh
Neo
yeah.
Geo, but unfortunately, um, I haven't worked out the file format. It's sort of like a well, I haven't worked out how to make some music in that file format and then convert it to the raw data. That's something I just need to sit down and spend some time on someday, probably sometime in the next couple of months to try to get the Neo Geo support closer to 100% of what the hardware can do.
See. So yeah, like I mean, I was trying to think about how I do music in Neo Geo just to like it was a few weeks ago, and I didn't know that the CD version was missing that sound check. But if there's the workaround of just having the track as a CD track, then
Oh,
wait,
sorry, it does. It does. Sorry, CD music is supported.
yeah,
If FM music is not supported, so like the
hmm, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
um, but yeah, so this one was a fun one to do. Um, so Bad Apple is so this this background animation. This has been ported to all sorts of systems. Like I think there's even like a Atari 2600 version of it. Um, Pretty sure there's an Amiga one already, but what the difference with the Scorpion Engine one is these blocks are all like I can actually walk on them, I can actually shoot them, and uh
how much memory does this take up?
I will I will check in not too well. I'll switch to I'll do the Mega Drive version, then I'll do the Amiga version, and then I can check the build log.
Okay,
It's not a huge amount of memory because it's so the tiles are all like the animation is like run length encoded compressed. So that's running. This is the same thing running on Mega Drive. You can see it's a little bit slower, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's functional. That's it gets the point across.
It's still
Um,
impressive.
yep. So Flub was asking how big the map is. I can actually show you that. So um, that is the map there. The map used to be huge because the map would contain like all of the data as blocks, and so it would run through the level, reading each block and saying, okay, well this is, this one means switch to this tile. This one means draw 8 white blocks in a row. Um, but when I'll get the Amiga version running, then I'll explain a little bit of how this actually works, how this crazy thing actually runs. So I think this one counts as a pass, no problems there. Flibble is asking if I change the way they store the anim data. Then the answer is yes, but I will explain that. Okay, so let's have a look at our build log. So how much memory do we think we're using? Okay, so well, that looks like it should run on, unless I'm not properly accounting for something. That looks like it should run on Amiga 500. So I'm going to give that a go. It will be absurdly slow on Amiga 500, but we'll see what it's like. Um, so this demo, this is actually quite an old demo I did for a Scorpion engine, and it I mean, it's so old it predates a lot of the features I've used to make this run better on different systems. Oh, this isn't too bad. I mean, I'm actually surprised it works on Amiga 500 at all. But yeah, that's that Apple Scorpion version running on Amiga 500.
When it comes to really low-end hardware computers, Bad Apple is the equivalent of can we get it to play Doom?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Although I have heard the argument it is actually Sonic the Hedgehog. Because in the last few years we've had Sonic the Hedgehog on Amstrad and Commodore 64. There's projects for Amiga. There's I think I saw someone making like a promising looking version on the NES.
Yeah, I've played some in the long distant past. Some of those are they called Somari? Oh, Somari, um, which was a kind of port of Sonic, but using Mario sprites on the NES, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Or am I half remembering something?
Okay, so this is where the magic happens. We have got this big long lookup table called FMV data, and I actually wrote another tool to like what this other tool does is it broke down the video into individual blocks.
Hmm.
There are a couple of ones I think like special blocks. So these RLE blacks and RLE whites. So at the bottom that means like there are 16 black tiles in a row, there are 16 white tiles in a row. Um, and um, Yeah, and then these are all tied to that tile ID. So 226. See if we can find. Is that? Oh no, it won't be tied to the tile ID. It will be tied to the order in this list. So um, yeah, but yeah, basically this is these are numbers that correlate to the so let me just see if I can find the numbers in the. Here we go. So this has got our constants for the blocks. So if we find that one, where is it? 226. That should be 16 black tiles in a row. Or 15 black tiles in a row. So yeah, so basically what that's saying is, okay, we'll draw 16 of those tiles and then, draw another 16 of those tiles because it's only black at the start. And then when we get further down, it starts to draw these other ones, like 6. So that is draw, well, that's just block 005. And then, it's basically saying, okay, we'll draw that one next. So yeah, hopefully that's clear enough. It is admittedly a quite complicated to explain, but that is how Bad Apple works on Scorpion Engine. All right, so Batman Returns is one that I've hardly done anything with. It's loosely based on there was a Batman Returns game for Master System that I quite liked, and it had a sort of a rope swing mechanic that I completely failed to try to replicate. But I mean, you sort of get the idea here. We've got Batman swinging on a rope, and we can go up and down the rope. I still don't know how the original game worked because the original game had like a line, and I don't know if that line was made out of a whole bunch of sprites or if it was made out of I don't know, somehow drawing that line onto the tile set.
It looks somewhat reminiscent of, is it Bionic Commando on
Yeah.
NES?
Yeah, that's because I think that had instead of lines it had points maybe, or I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, so I didn't really do a really good job of working out the rope physics. Whoever made the original game did do a good job of making it feel good. Mixer Lab says I would love to replicate the rope if it could attach to the ceiling like in Fury of the Furies or Hook Champ. Yeah, I mean, I think that was what I was planning to do with this, but then I just sort of got frustrated with trying to make the rope feel good. That I just stopped. But I absolutely, well, yeah, I mean, absolutely should be possible to make something that shoots out like a projectile, and then when it hits something on the top, it then converts to a rope and converts the player to this rope actor. Yeah, maybe
rope physics and Fury of... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over. I was just going to say, for rope physics and Fury of the Furries,
Yep.
was really enjoyable to use. I think that was like probably my favorite part of the game. To be honest, it was just like swinging through the levels and seeing how far I could fling the little Fury.
I don't think I've spent too much time playing it. I think I might have CD32 copy of it. But yeah, it's just one of those games I never really spent a lot of time playing, so I don't really remember there being a hook mechanic at all.
I'm trying to remember if the CD32 version was one of the few where it had differences with from the disc version. I'll have to look that up after the stream.
Um,
Oh,
Biomenace. Now, I think I just need to make sure that all of the tiles are set to. Yeah. Okay, so I need to make sure the tiles are set to palette 0. But yeah, so this one I actually did for a YouTube video. So just like I spent, it wasn't long. It was 5 to 10 minutes. It was just to demonstrate how you would start the process of porting an existing game to Scorpion Engine. Yep, that looks better.
hey, there we go.
Yep. And yeah, so Biomenace was a classic DOS game, and it actually received an official remaster, I think just within the last couple of weeks.
Yes, it
And
did.
actually looks pretty decent. It has a map editor, so people have been submitting user maps to it. And yeah, it works quite nicely. It's well, I mean, there's not much to it. It is just a rip of the like the maps. Like someone had made a map of level 1 in PNG format, and so I just used that to create this quick and dirty demo. And it is only 16 colors because it's DOS palette. Oh, sorry, DOS EGA palette.
It's nice to see the games industry start to embrace user-generated content. I remember on the Xbox 360, the game N++, or was it N+? I think it was N++. That actually had an update that was all done and ready to go. Users could make their own levels.
Yep.
However, Microsoft just blocked it and said, "No, we don't want this
Oh,
on our platform." Yeah.
now that's was this quite a while ago? Or was this fairly recently?
2007. So
Yeah,
quite a while ago.
they've definitely changed some of their attitude since then because the re-releases of Doom have oops, sorry, the re-releases of Doom have their user content, and some of it is a bit sketchy. Well,
Oh,
not necessarily sketchy, but things where it's like, should they really have this on? Like for example, they had the Aliens total conversion, and for Doom,
oh, yeah.
and so that's a really cool mod. But of course, it is uses a lot of stuff from the movies that they obviously don't have the rights to. Oh, okay, so this one is a bit broken. Oh, no, this is not okay, so there's a few things I need to fix here. This bug where it sort of was missing half the tiles, I thought I had that pretty well fixed, but I guess maybe not, or maybe I didn't build the fix for it. Okay, but yeah, so I need to fix. So it's missing those tiles there. I'm just curious if it's caused by the background. So let's start up Neo Geo. Let's not spawn that in. So this unofficial demo based on Cadillac and Dinosaurs. I can't remember the name of the guy that did it, but yeah, this was This was something that was not my project. This was submitted, and it's a pretty cool looking demo. It didn't actually do it for Neo Geo. We did it for Mega Drive, but it works on Neo Geo. But yeah, it just looks like I have a bug here where the background sprite is interfering with the midground. Oh, and yeah,
Now that looks like it's on the wrong palette now, doesn't it?
yeah. Now I thought I had actually let's switch to Mega Drive. No, let's switch to Mega EGA. Which one has now that looks like the right colors. Which 32 to okay, so I'll switch back to Neo Geo. Um, oh, it might be this palette line here. I'll just try. Yeah, I'll try switching that to 2. But I will need to make a note that this one is a fail because I need to fix Neo Geo background. Right. Okay, let's have a look at that image. I'm just gonna check if it's indexed. If it's indexed, then I can just take the colors from it.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, so that's indexed. So I need to. I don't think I'm using palette 3. So if I go import and then I go. Oh, where is that background? Oh, it's under platform assets. Okay. So if I go to platform assets, Neo Geo, that one. Oh, actually, it's not. Maybe I did have the right. No. Okay, so I do need to fix this. So if I import that to palette line 3, if I go platform assets, Neo Geo, grab that one, port from 0, I want to import that to 48, and then I want to import 16 colors. There we go. So that one, if I set that to palette line 3, that one should be good. Yep. Okay, so it's all good except for that sprite glitch.
Missing floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I will need to that's something I'll need to fix. In fact, I think I know how to fix it. It's just I'll need to sit down and um, I just need to patch it when I'm off stream. Yeah. So I know this future New York, I thought it was kind of funny because we've got the Statue of Liberty underwater, most of this underwater, but we've still got the World Trade Center.
And the World Trade Center is somehow shorter than the Empire State Building.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. So the setup is a bit different on Mega Drive because obviously we can't have like a big massive sprite as the background like we can on Neo Geo. So it is just this oh yeah, so it is just this background, and I think I cut out a fair bit of the detail, or we had to cut out a fair bit of the detail just so we didn't run out of tiles because we've only got 64K of video memory on Mega Drive. And finally, we've got the um, so we've got the Amiga version, and it's set up pretty similar to the Neo Geo version in that we have a whoops. What? So which one did this ask? Frames? What's it complaining about? Oh. Okay, yeah. There is some sort of bug here I need to fix. I'm gonna make a note of that. So, uh, code blocks to issue with screen. So let's So we're supposed to have AGA sprite wrap here. Okay, so if I go to edit that and then I go back into that. Yeah, I think there's some issue with just conversion of code blocks to with setting AGA sprite wrap. And Y-ray shouldn't be frames. That might have been what's confused. Yeah, so height should be just 4. I don't even know where we've got frames here, because that doesn't make any sense for. Oh, actually, I don't know why that is. It's but that should be optional. But that's setting the frame rate. But if I leave it at 0, that means it doesn't change the frame rate. But... yeah. Okay. So that
V blank.
Yeah, that basically changes the V blank. But if I have it frames to 0, basically says okay, whatever it was before, don't change it. If I have it set to 2, that means okay, well, have 2 weights per V blank for 25 frames, or I can have it as 1 for 50 frames. But I'll turn that off completely. Looks like there are just some bugs there I have to fix. But yeah, so the reason why the sprite is sort of weirdly flipped like that is because it's 256 wide. In fact, we'll make the screen a bit wider than that. Let's make it I wonder what the fetch mode is. I'll put the fetch mode as a lower fetch mode so I can make it a bit wider. And I've got to right align that so I've got all the sprites. Yeah, so the reason it's weirdly flipped is because I've got it as a repeating pattern that can fill the screen. If I just had this as a 256 pixel wide game, then I wouldn't need to worry about it because it could be just just that static background. But anyway, so that so I do have some bugs there to fix. Oh, maybe, yeah, okay. So I've got attack animations. We don't have a hit animation, so we can't actually hurt them. But that's yeah. So that's all right. So that's just how the demo was when we're finished on it. Since these are all open source demos, anyone, if they felt like it, they can sit down and come back and
Expand upon them, yeah.
Okay, and the next one we've got, this was a donation by Flibble, which was Contra. So we only ever had this one set up for, I think for CD32 specifically, because it uses some like the music from the original game. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be working, so that's the important thing. I don't see any issues with it. And yeah, the bridge blowing up. I mean, it's got a lot of cool effects. So there's so much going on. I haven't really played the original arcade game, but it does seem like it's has. Well, I'm presuming it has nearly all of what's in the arcade game for this one level because there is a lot going
I think this one level could be said to be the best version of Contra on the Amiga.
on. Yeah, I know. Super C doesn't have a very good reputation. I wasn't sure if there were any other ones.
Yeah, there's a few very early Amiga Konami games which, for one reason or another, and they didn't turn out too well.
Hmm.
And so nowadays we're getting, many decades later, people doing their own ports via Scorpion Engine of Castlevania and Contra, and yeah, they're way better. I think there's something to be said about the democratization of game development for the Amiga via a tool like this. I mean, I've got very similar thoughts about Unity and such. More people making games for better.
Hmm. Well, so this one was yeah. I mean, I with Scorpion Engine, I kind of wanted to be like the Unity or the Unreal Engine of Amiga, and then that became Mega Drive and Neo Geo as well. Um, and yeah, I mean I love Unity. I use it. Well, I mean I used it to make the Scorpion Engine with. It's Yeah, it just lowers the overhead so much for, I mean, for everyone, for artists, for coders, and yeah, same with Unreal as well. Like, in fact, I think Unreal is a little bit easier for artists than Unity is.
Yeah, I'll agree there.
Um, yeah, so this one was donated by Niso Games, and sort of a demonstration of how we can make a maze game as well as having like top-down view. I never actually dug into the code to see how this actually works. Um,
Gotta say, it's very reminiscent of, if you remember, a game called Death Mask.
yeah, yeah, sort of like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, but even down to the way the map was displayed on the screen, although Death Mask had a tiny bit more animation, very similar premise. I mean, looking at this, I could almost think that possibly someone could make a Death Mask type game on the Amiga. Although that being said, with Death Mask, the screen was always split vertically between two players, even if there weren't two players present.
Hmm. Man, I wonder what sort of
It's
nonsense you could get away with trying to do something like a Space Hulk or Hired Guns having multiple screens. This actually works a little bit different to what I expected because it seems to like because it's got different actors for the different wall slots. And I guess it needs to because like you couldn't do the sort of blocks because you really need to be able to mask multiple layers, and so it looks like it's got yeah, it's just got actors for the different slots for the different wall slots, and it looks like so you can see three tiles ahead, and it just changes them at runtime when you switch or when you go through the level. Um,
In terms of actors, it's an incredibly clean approach.
mm, yeah, absolutely. I do want to add something where, like, I've got this concept in mind called a stamp, and the idea would be instead of having an actor, you would just stamp the graphic, the animation onto the background. But that's something I haven't implemented yet. So, um, when I do get around to implementing that, this this demo could be rewritten to use a stamp, so it might be a little bit tidier still, a little bit easier to expand with like split screen. Actually, I mean, I think you probably could do split because this is a relatively tiny screen anyway. You probably could do split screen, not too much trouble, and then have like a like a really simple deathmatch game.
Funny you mention this because just before the stream, I was giving myself a bit of a headache trying to think. I was trying to think how could a split screen game work on Scorpion, and I came to this idea in my head of have you heard of the game Extreme Violence? It-
Uh, um. Oh yeah, so it's like a top-down shooter, right?
yeah.
Sort of like quite like public domain.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Yep,
For the AMI Game Jam at some point, I don't know if it was last year or the year before,
yep,
someone did a sequel
yep.
where it was split into four of a screen rather than two. And I kind of thought to myself, like, a possible way to do like a split screen would be to not actually have it properly split screen, but to have the screen divided by say blocks in the middle, like across the y and x axes,
Yep.
and then on in each quarter having both the player actor and simulation actors of the other players. But then at
Oh,
that point,
yeah. Um, Scrolling would be awkward, but conceptually you could do that something like that might work.
well, yeah, it was at that point that I realised that I was beginning to give myself a bit of a headache, so I decided to think about something else.
Yeah. I think it was Dockster that actually made a split screen Scorpion game. It's just like a top and bottom, but it wasn't really scrolling. I think it was just like uh yeah, like you're saying, simulation
Yeah.
actors top and bottom. Oh, so I'm just gonna get actually I'll change this to AES. Sorry, I hope you didn't hear. Oh,
Oh, God.
sorry, what was that?
I was just going to say, I've noticed that Mix was asked in the chat if Scorpion supports two mouse players at this point in time.
Yes, it does. In fact, there's a demo for that. Um, I guess the only problem is it's a bit difficult to test because I think it's very well. I don't know how easy it is to get two mice working on Windows. Um, only Amiga makes it possible. Um, oh, okay. Let me just try. Did we have it running on Mega Drive? Is that going to happen? No. Okay. So why does it work on Mega Drive but not Neo Geo? There must be something. Okay. So that looks pretty broken on Mega Drive, but that's sort of as expected because, in fact, I'll just make it I think this one was made by uh, Acid Bottle and or Flibble.
Hmm. Was
And
this done on one of the early streams, by any chance?
yeah, we did. I yeah, I think yeah. So I had Acid Bottle on stream, and we were working on this together. Looks like something is broken. That color. Because that what is our okay? Because I have changed one or two things about how colors are mapped. So that these. No, it's a frog. Or, sorry, not frog, turtle. Okay, yeah, so it's getting that color mixed up, I think. But we can fix that real quick. I haven't actually got Frogger on my list here. I should make sure that's there. And I'll just black out those two because this is Amiga only.
How come Frog is Amiga only?
We made it Amiga only because well, we've got a few optimizations that only really work on Amiga. Like we've got like with this maskless mode, for example. So that yeah, I think the long and short of it is we just to try to get it running as smoothly as possible. We made a whole bunch of optimizations that are only for Amiga. I think for Mega Drive and Neo Geo, we would want to yeah, do different optimizations.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I think I still saw that glitch, or maybe I didn't. No, okay, well, that's looking better in any case. I'll just make sure I can get to the end. Now, I'll just jump back on that frog. No, I think that looks okay.
Yeah, it looks fine on this end.
Yep. Okay, if I get into there, is that... Yep, okay, and that starts at the end. Okay, so I'll say that's a... I had to fix that one little bug, but that wasn't a Scorpion Engine bug, so I'll say that is complete. And is Halo 0 next? Yep. Oh, what? I shouldn't have... Why have I got builds in there? No, okay, let's get rid of that, because I don't want to check that in. Project. Yeah, so I'll just I'll run each of these fairly quickly. So this is my own project, and unlike most of the demos in here, it's not like it hasn't been abandoned, it hasn't been put aside yet. I do want to get back to it and yeah, try to finish the game. And I won't spend too long in this one. I think it should be fairly stable because I was working on it recently. I'd be very surprised if I've changed something that's broken things, but you never know. Yeah, that's... Well, let's fix sound options. Yep, that's better. Probably the hardest thing that still needs to be done for this is in the original game you can drive the Warthog, you know, the big
Oh,
Jeep.
yeah.
And you know, in the original game it's basically full screen. Or not full screen, maybe half screen, but that's going to be way too big for Mega Drive and Amiga. The Neo Geo could probably handle it, but what I think I'll do is I'll just make it so that that particular level everything's scaled down by half again.
Oh, that's an interesting approach.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if I can get like front wheels and back wheels working on the slopes so that because I would have the front wheel and back wheels as separate actors, and then I would have the chassis as another actor again, and then that will sort of be tilted depending on like where the wheels are relative to each other. At least that's my plan. Whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. But I think the Warthog stage is a bit of a gimmick anyway because it's 2D's not really great for this sort of uh
See, also any minecart stage in a 2D game ever.
yeah yeah. Well, it's with Halo. There's like because you're just driving it back and forward. There's not really too much to
Yeah,
the gameplay, but it's something
I've played an amount of Halo over the years.
yeah. Well, hopefully this one is not too blasphemous if because yeah, I mean I've played a bit of Halo, but
Oh,
I've
I love this.
oh that's great because uh, like I've always been a casual fan of Halo. I've never been like a big massive fan of it. I haven't played all the games yet. I'm very proud that I managed to finish the first game on Legendary, but I got a bit stuck on the second game on Legendary. So,
I've got to say, I only played through the second game on Legendary only a few years ago.
yep,
Um, the, the very first level
yep.
is one of the hardest levels in any video game I've ever played.
Yeah, I really struggled on the first level. I was surprised that it wasn't as hard after that, at least for the next few levels. I know there's a couple of levels that are considered really tricky on Legendary, like I think there's one where you face the big ape men for the first time, and then there's one with the jackal snipers. I didn't get quite that far, but I should get back to it someday.
Yeah, the battle against, I think it's Regret, the Prophet.
Yep.
That on Legendary is I think it's a kind of joy that can only be described as completely masochistic. If you got to be kind of ready to fail at that a lot, and to even get that far on the level, it's all about saving the Marines. That in fact I could say that about any level in Legendary Halo 2 is save all the Marines you can because all of them have infinite ammo and
Oh,
great aim.
yeah. The bit I struggled with the most in on Legendary in the original Halo, and I think this was the part that nearly made me give up was you know how you take that lift onto the Covenant
Yeah.
battleship,
Uh-huh.
and then you get like you've got to fight in the cargo hold for a good couple of minutes. There's enemies constantly coming in, and some of those are the stealth ones that have the swords.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, funny story
oh,
there. The first time I did that level on Legendary was actually my first time trying to go through the entirety of Halo 1. I had gotten right to the end, and not knowing what was coming next, all I had was plasma pistols, and the next enemies were those big hunters.
mm,
Yeah, and I couldn't be bothered to play through the entire level again, so I decided to tough it out and respawn about 1,000 times. I did it in the end, and may
yep.
have lost most of my sanity in the process. Yeah, is this the four-player demo, or have I gotten this mistaken?
No, this is the four-player demo. Um,
Oh, yeah.
excuse me.
So I want to say, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just got to fix a couple of things. So, because this has got mod music, and of course I can't play that mod music on. I can't play the mod music on Neo Geo, but thinking about it now, there's probably no reason why I shouldn't be able to, because the Unity can actually import mod music. And so I would be able to import that and then export that as the native Neo Geo format.
Oh, did you just say that Unity can import mod music?
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
is it Unity mod file or mod music? Audio files. Let's have a look.
wow.
Um, uh, it's file type compatibility. Maybe it isn't any. Oh, hang on. Here we go. So these are the supported tracker modules, and that includes mods. So yes, you can play Amiga music um, in Unity.
I
Import it.
was about to say, I wonder why that came or how that came to be, but then I realized I think Jason Page used to work at Unity.
Okay. Sorry, was he from the Amiga scene? I can't think of the name.
Yeah, he did the music for Iridium 2, amongst
Ah,
many other titles.
okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe. I wonder if this is like the very oldest file format that for audio that's supported uh in Unity. Because I think that, I mean, that would be even older than Wave. I would have thought. Um,
I'm trying to think.
oh,
Does
well,
Wave? Yeah, I don't think Wave would predate mod. No.
hmm. Anyway, what I'm going to try to do, well, I'm going to, 47, I didn't finish what I was doing. Is it this one? Start level, no? So I should pay attention to what it says. Startup 47, jump music, okay. 47. So I'm going to make 3 copies of that line. And then the Amiga line is going to have that music. There's going to be no music on Mega Drive, and no music for now on Neo Geo. Oh, it's good. Oh, okay. So there's actually 3. Score screen is it? Yep. Okay, so there is actually 3 places that have music. At least 3. Maybe there's more. Let's set that to none. Oh,
I'm actually
the
asking these. Oh, sorry,
palette
sorry.
is all bit broken there. Why is that? Is that the same palette as? No, I don't think that's the same palette as the Amiga. So I'll need to, or maybe it was, but I need to make sure that's the same palette, and then I will need to tweak. Let's have a look. So the bunnies at least. Oh, why didn't I make the bunnies palette line 1? Oh, because these are not sprites. Okay, so um, actually, if I go to Mega Drive, okay, so in Mega Drive they have the right palette line set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my project data from Neo Geo, and then if I go back to AES and it will ask me to configure the palettes. Okay, so that should be better. Sorry, what were you saying?
Uh, I was meant to ask, and I don't want to sound like I'm asking a bit of an awkward question here,
Yep.
but I was wondering why you'd used 2 separate lines for to switch off music for Mega Drive and Neo Geo, when I thought there was the option to have that same line apply for Mega Drive or Neo Geo, just on the same line.
Yeah, that is actually a good question. I think because I want to. Oh man, I need to fix that. Um, yeah, I think the long and short of it is that I want uh because I am gonna have I did want to try to quickly port the music.
Ah, okay.
Um,
And in that case, you would have wanted to have kept it
mm,
separate for Neo Geo, yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So I need to do some real quick fixes for these tile sets. Okay, so that's set to 0. Okay, that is set to 0. So these ones not set to 0. So why is it? Okay, so this one isn't set to 0 for some reason. I should set all of these to 0. Um, and this one here as well. It's a very awkward looking tile set, but I think it's just because I imported the PNG as a level.
Hmm. The
So
level
that's
itself reminds me of, I think it's the second to last level of Fire and Ice, the floating islands.
okay. Now that's looking better. So I wonder. Let's have a look at input settings. Uh, um, two up. Oh, R F D. Okay, so player two. Okay, so I wonder what player two is. Okay, so I will need to adjust that, but right now I just want to look at why is player 2 and 3 being controlled by the same. I think player 3 shouldn't be controlled at all. No, okay. It might be getting confused because most Neo Geos just don't have 4 joysticks. And so the BIOS might be getting confused for asking for controls 3 when controls 3 and 4 when there are no control 3 and 4.
Was
Uh,
there a multi-tap for the Neo Geo?
Not that I know of. I think it was just some arcade cabinets had um so I think just some arcade cabinets had 4 players, but it was only there might only been 1 or 2 games with that. I haven't looked too deeply into it, but the BIOS does support requesting player 3 and 4 joystick inputs. Just not every Neo Geo actually has those.
Yeah. Remind me, was the MVS the arcade one, or was it the AES?
Um, the MVS was the arcade one.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is let's actors, and then I'm gonna call this actors 3 4, and then I just need to find. Well, let's grab all those because they shouldn't be on the actors layer to begin with. Oh, sorry, it shouldn't be on the blocks layer to begin with. And then I have to close and open this again. So when I do that, my layer it will add those properties. So I want to turn it off for AES, and then I need to work out which ones of those are 1 and 2. So one is the white rabbit, and then 2 is the brown rabbit. Okay, so these ones here are 3 and 4. Take them out and then put them on that layer, and then so hopefully it should only be on Neo Geo. Should only be 2 player. Yep, and it's only oops, it's just interfering like that because I've got my controls are overlapping, so I just need to make a real quick edit to the controls on the input settings. Move them to here. Oh, actually, I'll put it there. Yep. Okay, so that's looking better. That button for jump. Okay. All right. Here we go. Whoa. That was a little bit concerning. So just I guess it was because the camera position changed quite rapidly. Let's see if that happens again. So if yeah, I don't know why that happened.
Have player one take out player two again. See if it's player specific. I mean, I doubt it, but
yeah, no, I think it might be just like with the Neo Geo platform and specifically, I've got it sort of like it rearranges the sprite buffers, and so it might have just gotten confused if the sprite buffer overlapped the tile set range. But other than that, it does seem to be okay. Hopefully that will be fixed when I come back to fix that other bug, the one with the in Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. But since that was just sort of a one frame glitch, I'll say that's a pass. I'll give that a quick try on Mega Drive. Oh, no score is too tall for. Yeah, let's just gonna take the bottom off it. And I shouldn't need to rearrange the positions. Oh, actually, yeah, they don't really line up very well, I think, just because I need to align them to 8x8 for a Mega Drive. Because, as you know, on Mega Drive and Neo Geo, the UI layer is... Oh, why can't I... Why can't I move? What have I done?
yeah, on those platforms for UI layers clamped to every 8 pixels, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I've actually got to say has been really handy. Although one would think that it would be a drawback for myself, it's not been, just because trying to move things by precise singular pixels on the Amiga is way harder for me than just to kind of half drag something and have it just snap to it being every 8 pixels on the other platforms. So I've actually used them as in particular Mega Drive as the primary development platform, so I can see where things should go and how they should look, and then doing the slower job of porting that to the Amiga side of things.
Well, this is completely unresponsive on Mega Drive. I don't know why. Mate. I wonder if it's something to do with the default control scheme. So if I go so I'm going to set the control mode to joystick 1. So it might be expecting there to be a like a multi-tap plugged in.
Oh yeah.
But it should be able to handle that automatically. Like it should know that, okay, well there's no multi-tap, so Okay, so that's okay. So what if I... Am I setting the control mode somewhere else? No, it'd have to be setting the control mode here. I'll just set it to 2. Yeah, it's supposed to just handle it if, like, you've got it set to a multi-tap mode, but you don't have a multi-tap plugged in. So it works okay on 2. What if I set it back to 4? I guess I can just add like a selection screen, control selection screen for, if you've got a multi-tap or not. Yeah, okay, I might make a note of that does not work if no multi-tap.
Quick question.
Yep.
If it doesn't work without multi-tap, would you be able to select the option on an option screen?
Well, I would have it set to, like, at startup, I'd say, okay, we'll set it to just 2-player controls.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then,
if a player manually selects it,
yeah.
4 players. Okay.
Yeah, I think I might just have something that basically says, well, yeah, I need to have something that says, okay, if there's no multi-tap selected, sorry, I'll just turn that music down. Yeah, I need to have something that says if there's no multi-tap selected, then just default to just two players, 2 controls. But yeah, that works on Amiga. I think that works better on Amiga than any of the others. But I did want to try something real quick with the Neo Geo. Is if I go to open MPT. And I open audio. I don't know what the title screen music is. I have to... Okay, jump music is the title screen music. Okay, if I then go to stream export, yeah, OGG is fine. Actually, no, maybe I should go as, yeah, I'll just go wait. No, I'll go as MP3. And then
File size down and all that.
It doesn't really matter too much because it's going to be converted anyway.
Ah.
If I go put audio jump music, and we'll see how that goes. So I will go back to here. I'll delete that one, and then I will change this to... That one will be Neo Geo. Actually, I'll just put it to Neo Geo, any of them. And I'll need to set the jump music should be ADPCMB. And I'll just see if this works. No, it didn't seem to work. Well, why not? Is this actually... Oh, I haven't. I need to add like a stop sound button or something like that. Okay, so that might be that's a bit of a strange issue. I'll just double check I've done it right. So Neo Geo. Oh, actually no. Okay, so the problem is ADPCMB music is a different command.
So separate from the level load.
Yeah, because that's under like play CD music. And I want to do that after the level load because if I'm doing that on CD, it's going to stop anything. It's basically going to stop anything from loading.
Yeah.
So that should fix it. So that should give us our title screen music, hopefully. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I think I'll leave Jump and Bump for now. I just got to work out why it doesn't work if there's no multi-tap. Actually, I'm just curious if I let's turn that off. Is it just a Blastem thing? If I run it in Gens, does it just work? No. Okay. All right. So there is something there I need to solve. But for now, I will move on from Jump and Bump. I'll try to sort of speed run these last few projects. Lost Vikings. That's maybe something that could be set to run on Mega Drive and Neo Geo, but at the moment it's just a very simple Amiga demo. Because I was starting this for a porting game jam, and then I found out someone else was doing it, and so I stopped mine, and they didn't finish theirs either.
It's always a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've noticed like over the years, if someone's like as you've just mentioned yourself, if someone hears about someone else doing the same port, then they say, "Oh, I'll stop mine." I've always been of the opinion that they should continue anyway, not in a see like whose is better, but to kind of just see how they approach it, because no two people are going to do the same task with the same approach, and it's always been interesting to me to kind of see the differences in approach, even if like for example like one may not be have the visual fidelity of another, but at the same time it may have advantages elsewhere, like in say frame rate.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean that we saw that with Outrun, because Reassembler did theirs, and then I can't remember who did Outrun AGA. Agermos. Sorry, I will need to work out why that palette is so weird. Just. But yes, so I mean, you had two different philosophies. You had with Reassembler, it was almost like creating an emulator because it needed the original data. It was fairly close to the original arcade machine. I don't think it had and it ran in 256 color mode with what do you call it like chunky graphics, chunky pixels.
As we'd say, all the bells and whistles.
Now, why is the palette so messed up on Neo Geo there? Because I've got... See, that tells it again. Let's make sure that the... Yeah, the Neo palette is set as 0. Is this an index palette? If I edit the tileset image, is it indexed? No, it's not indexed, so I wonder why it's so messed up. Let me try running that again. Yeah, it's almost like it's inverted. Yeah, that is weird. There's a problem with the map. It's not using an override palette.
I did see just then the last color on the palette was a very bright white.
Hmm. Yeah, is it? Oh, hang on. Yeah, because most of that. Oh, actually, let's have a look at these. Oh no, that shouldn't affect it. I don't know. What? Yeah. What if I just take that white out? Because it's like it's mapping it to that color for some reason. There's. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. So I mean it should be using that black. Because yeah, I mean it needs this white for this. Um. Uh. Yeah. What is? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll make a note that I need to fix that. Um. So, just go that and issue color with color black not being used. Or sorry, not color black, color 0 not being used. Because I mean, black is well, color 0 is transparent, but on a background it shouldn't matter. There should, I think in Mega Drive, do I have an option in Mega Drive? No, I don't have an option there. Okay, yeah, there's just some issue where it's not picking up that there is a well, that it can just use transparent. Oh, actually, no, I can what I probably should have done is if I go to this intro map and then I go edit the tileset. Sorry, edit the tileset image. And let's just delete black from the image completely. So if I just oh no, don't want it contiguous. Don't want it feathered or anti-aliased. I just want yep.
Pure black, yeah.
Pure black.
There you go.
Then if I go back to it, hopefully it should be okay. I'll just check it. So I have got white on my palette. No? Why? Because that's transparent. That shouldn't that yeah, that has to be a bug. I'll just double check my I'll just check platform assets just to make sure I haven't got like an override or something that's messing with it. No, I don't. Yeah, okay, so I just have to make yeah, color 0 not being used. And it should at least be used if there's a transparent background. Oh, actually, I think I might know why. If I go... let's try that again, because I think the transparent color might be mapping to one of these last ones. No, uh, no, I can't explain it. I will just have to come back to this and fix it off stream. No,
There was an
okay.
issue, wasn't there, with the last colour of the palette and fade-ins?
Yeah, there was, which has been fixed. But yeah, so it's weird that it should know to use that because that's actually I wonder if it. No, okay. Well, I'll give up on that for now. I can't remember if I checked Amiga or not. I know I checked Mega Drive. Yep, I'll say that's a pass. I'll just keep moving. Is on Neo Geo. I'll have a look at movie. Okay, movie's a very simple one. It is just like a 4 or 5 frame animation. Yeah, it does have a bit of screen tearing, but that's I'm not too worried about that at this stage. I'll need to come up with a solution for it.
Yeah, talking about demos, am I making up something in my head?
Yep.
Or have I convinced myself of something that never happened? Was there at one point a demo of the intro to Street Fighter Alpha 3?
Um, Not from me. No, I don't recall any Street Fighter 3 projects.
No, Alpha 3. Alpha
Alpha.
3.
Oh, sorry, Alpha. No, I don't recall any Street Fighter Alpha projects either.
Okay.
Because they're having some for Street Fighter 1 and Street Fighter 2, but there's been nothing that I can remember that's been
Okay. Because I don't know where I got this idea from, but I could have sworn that at some point, one of the demos with Scorpion Engine was a recreation of the intro for Street Fighter Alpha 3, but then maybe I'm kind of getting crossed wires with the Scott Pilgrim demo, or having seen something along those lines, because the intro to the Scott Pilgrim game is a recreation of, well, it's a parody of the Street Fighter Alpha 3 intro. Uh, yeah.
possibly. Yeah. Unless it's the ghost of Nelson Mandela playing tricks on us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's it called? Is it Mandela syndrome?
Mandela effect.
And Mandela effect. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this was another demo donated by Niso Games. Um, yeah, Mix was saying he remembers this Street Fighter Alpha demo. Maybe I don't get to see 100% of things made with Scorpion. Sometimes it just slips under my radar. So maybe someone did do it, and then I just because I never saw it, I don't have any memory of it myself.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'll say this one is okay. It doesn't quite look as good on the Neo Geo and Mega Drive because it wasn't, created for those platforms. In fact, with Pitfall. I'm not going to bother testing on Neo Geo Mega Drive because I did only I was only making that one for Amiga, so this is one that I've sort of was working on for some time, and then I mean, not that long, but I put it aside. I think I almost feel like I need to start it from scratch. It is a bit messy. Um, Pitfall has a very peculiar. Oh, sorry, I just turned down the audio. Pitfall has a very peculiar platforming system, and so I had to fight Scorpion a bit to get it to work. Yeah, I mean, it does seem to work. I'll just check that water works. It does. One thing that sometimes breaks is getting out of the water and then getting pushed back into it. I'll just check that no problems with that. Yep. Okay. No, I'll say that's a pass. I just want to try to get through these last few ones as quickly as possible. I forget how many of these unofficial demos that have actually been submitted over the years. Oh, so this is a quick bug I need to fix because I changed the name of a constant here, and I probably shouldn't have because it has caused a few issues here and there. Hi Bailey, welcome to the chat. Um, okay, yeah, that's well, yeah, there is something weird about like when the camera moves for the first time, it glitches out. But yeah, I'll come back to that. There are there are. It does look like there's a few issues with this on Neo Geo.
Yeah, I didn't think the camera moved in this demo. I thought it was just static
Yeah,
single
just
screen.
no. Yeah, you're right. It just seemed to be from spawning the ladder. Although spawning the ladder does like, it is going to change the tile set. And I mean, yeah, this looks fine on Mega Drive. Um, there just does seem to be a handful of tile rendering issues on Neo Geo I need to iron out. Well, is this not going to work on Amiga?
Oh, interesting.
I think when your E's frozen up. Okay, that's weird. Usually, uh, okay, I
It
have
was
to.
Guru or something, wasn't it? Like usually.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's actually my computer is playing up. I should close down everything that I'm not using. Let me just check CPU. Let's get rid of WinUAE. Yeah, usually if there's a crashing bug in Scorpion, it doesn't actually crash WinUAE. I'll just try that again. It could be just my computer's playing up because I've been streaming for a while. My computer's getting a bit hot. Uh, no, that is a concern. It's whatever's happening is causing WinUAE to freeze, like just completely crash. So, I mean, I could try FSUAE. Um,
I've seen occasionally different results with FSUAE, but I do try to avoid it nowadays. Yeah, I'm using FSUAE because for some reason on my computer, it doesn't handle two players very well, which is a bit of a shame because of what I was saying earlier about how I love the democratization of games development via tools like Unity and Scorpion Engine. if there's something that's definitely not democratized, it's Amiga emulation, and I think FSUAE is the closest you get to it.
Mm. Yeah, because I mean that's sort of I think that's like your only option for Linux, Mac. Um,
And was it a fork of it that was done used for PUAE on the PlayStation 3, or was that something else?
oh yeah, there's that PUAE that is used in RetroArch, and I've never really been able to. Well, there's a JavaScript version of RetroArch, and it supports PUAE, but it doesn't seem to like the custom options like configuring what kickstart you're using, what RAM you're using. Like, because you can do all that through the user interface, but I wasn't able to set those as defaults, which means I can't really make it so that you can do a like a web page output for Amiga. You can do it for Mega Drive, and so some Scorpion games, the Mega Drive versions, you can play in the browser, but I haven't been able to work that out for Amiga yet.
Good point. Because I think I was reading something you'd mentioned about this the other week. For the Amiga Game Jam thing, I well, this game which I'm developing, which I've not actually said out loud to everyone what it quite is
Yep.
yet, because it's still a bit under wraps. But I've been developing it for Amiga, Mega Drive, and Neo Geo. Now, the idea I kind of had was to have it playable on the page itself via Mega Drive emulator until I realized, and I'm going to be very honest and blunt here, um, although Mega Drive is what I use to test it with because it's fastest to get in game from compile time,
Yep.
it's not the it's not the best version of the game. Um, right now, by far, the best version of the game is the Amiga version, but the Amiga version has some load times, which I'm hoping I can eliminate one way or the other, but I won't be able to fully eliminate if exporting via track disk. But that's the nature of floppy disks and such file formats. And I'm looking forward to, and I say that with great sarcasm, the point when I try to optimize it for WHD load, because I'd love to get it working on the Amiga 500 Mini and the
Mm.
forthcoming A1200, but
Well,
there's
I
something
mean, I
about
think if you
that.
can fit it on floppy, if you can fit it on track disk, my recommendation would be to do that for the Amiga 500 Mini, because ADFs are very easy to. You don't need to do any special configuration. You just drop it and run. But for WHD load, you do need to patch the like the big XML file of all the supported slaves.
Ah, and now that's what I wasn't looking forward to.
Yeah. So definitely, I would say 100% if you want to support the A500 Mini and your game will fit on a floppy disk, then use ADF output. And with the track disk export, like the loading times are pretty good. They used to be pretty bad with the like if you're just running the Scorpion executable from floppy, but using the track disk
Yeah.
driver from PHX, it's a lot faster.
Well, right now, the loading times are like on the title at the point in time of today
Yep.
is pretty good. The issue I have is a me issue, and that is the fact that although the game it fits on a floppy very easily, in memory it takes up about 1.5 megabytes. So if I'm to try and get that down to say less than one, which I'm not sure I'll be able to do, I'm gonna possibly have to play around with using asset packs. Is it? And do a selective loading of assets, which will probably have a bit of an impact. Couldn't say how much at this point, but It's something I have been considering because right now the base what's it called? The base stats?
Yep.
Not base stats, sorry. Base specs
Yep.
to run the game is ECS 1.5 megabyte and with an O2O processor if you actually want 2 players. Yeah, I definitely need to do an optimization pass on it because I'm not too impressed with the fact that with myself with the fact that I've kind of allowed it to get like that. To, I think there's a bit of code that could be more tidy and more performant on my part.
Oh. Yeah, it's always sort of a an ongoing process, and like I mean, I did Halo Zero recently, and I'm kicking myself because there was a whole bunch of things I could have done to make it smoother. But I mean, that's a project that's ongoing, so we'll come back to that at some stage and get it as smooth as I can, and uh, yeah, see if I can finish all the levels.
I think from a personal perspective, this is the closest I've come to actually making a finished game in a long time. So having this deadline of the end of February for me for me to finally get it out is yeah, I'm going to be taking a bit of a break from any kind of the game development for a while after that. I think because just to get something out will be quite an achievement in
Mm.
itself.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, okay. Um.
Oh, sorry.
Uh. So a bit of context for this one. So this was a Sonic demo that was based on the Master System version, which has sort of become the standard for most ports. Like the Commodore 64 version was based on this. The Amstrad version is based on this. Um, but yeah, it's not related to Retro Rick's work on the a port of the Mega Drive version.
Am I getting crossed wires, or are there three ports now? This one, Retrorix, and Reassemblers, or did that?
Yeah, no, I mean that's So I mean this one is an under active development. Um, retro. So this one here is just here for anyone to play with. Reassemblers is under active development. Retro Rix was just sort of a really quick prototype, just to see what he could do before Reassembler makes it redundant. Um,
It's absolutely crazy awesome what people can do with this engine, and saying that they've done it quick, and I'm kind of sat there for months just trying to get a player to behave how I want it to. I'm jealous, Retro Rick.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, he. I mean, I was really impressed with what he managed to do. It's one of those like Rhetoric's project, the Sonic project. It's one of those things where I wouldn't have immediately assumed it was. Sorry, I would not have assumed it was Scorpion unless I already knew.
Yeah.
Um, Now this
I,
one
that,
might.
that's go on.
Uh,
Sorry.
this one here might be a bit broken because it was sort of designed around Amiga pellets. But this was the first attempt to do a Street Fighter game um, for Amiga. There have been other ones since. Um, at least, oh, panel element height, screen select. That might be just too tricky to get running on Neo Geo. So I'm gonna say this is an Amiga only demo. Because yeah, so a lot of these HUDs need to be reworked to be, the 8x8.
Yeah. And haven't done that myself. It's its own kind of fun trying to do that. I think at the moment I definitely have Amiga panels and Mega Drive and Neo Geo panels off like in their own separate worlds. Or separate folders, should I say.
Mm. Yeah, that's probably a good way to handle it. Just keep them completely separate. Oh. Just trying to get the... Oh, maybe we only program the Hadouken into it. But we can do the Hadouken easy enough. I thought we had it so you could do the spinning kick, but I can't seem to pull it off. But the Hadouken is really, really easy.
Yeah, the kick would be the exact opposite of the Hadouken and with kick input. So yeah, it's probably knock off the kick.
Yeah, I think we actually, I can't remember if we set it up for like. I think it was just set for one button, like how the original Street Fighter 2 on Amiga was one button for every action. But I'm pretty sure it's much easier to pull off Hadoukens in that version. So
yeah, from what I remember, on the original Street Fighter 2 on the Amiga, it was pretty slow.
Yep.
There was also a control scheme where you could use Shift as kick.
Yep.
Which was a little bit awkward if you were trying to use a joypad, to say the least. But it was usable if you were playing with a joystick, just about. And I say usable in the broadest possible term.
One button. Well, there are a couple of one button games that I really like. Like I mean, one is IK Plus. It's I mean it's fairly simple fighter, so it doesn't really need more than one button. But also, I think Shadow Fighter works pretty well with one button, and I almost feel it's like a hybrid of the IK Plus control scheme and like a Street Fighter control scheme. It for me at least, it just seems to work. Work pretty well on one button.
Oh yeah, Shadow Fighter is massively underrated. I think it's a bit of a travesty that sadly it was never ported to anything else, and it's become a bit of a forgotten title because it was only released on the Amiga.
But yeah, anyway, so you see in this one, there's some parallax on the floor there.
Oh yeah.
And so sort of fake line scrolling. What I've got is, you see, I've got an animation where every frame is a different line. And then I've got these different actors for each slice. So it's basically blitting a whole bunch each individual line. That's actually how a lot of games worked on Amiga. Like, it's how the roads are drawn on Lotus. It's how like in Elfmania, I think. Like Elfmania, you've sort of got that water that sort of scrolls a bit separately. The problem is it's not very efficient doing it as actors, because actors have like all of these systems for collision detection and movement, and so what I really need to do is I need to build a line scrolling system that does this natively rather than faking it with a whole bunch of different actors.
Would such a system go under animations, actors, or its own new tab?
Probably, like, I'd probably put it under sorry, I would probably put it under panels. So I would have like a background panel that is like you say this is my parallax floor, and then you can tilt this left or right, or if it's a racing game, then you can curve it, or need to work out some sort of way to handle like hills and things like that. But it should all be doable. It will come eventually. But yeah, nothing much to say about this demo. We've got the tanks tracking where the player is, so that was sort of the main point of it. Oh, now that bullet shouldn't have gotten stuck on the outside of the level like that, but I won't worry about.
I see too.
Yeah, let me have a look. Okay, so I'm going to change that to simple wall collision. And that one should be simple wall collision. And what do I have for actually, if I change that to destroy, and then I change this to destroy, and then yeah, I've got this blank area up the side. I probably should have like a solid wall or something like that in there, but I'll just see I'll just see if at the very least we don't get the bullets sticking to the wall like they did. So I'll just get a tank to try to shoot me. So yeah, I think that's all right. That will do.
There we go.
But yeah, no, that seems to be okay. So I'll just quickly try it on the other ones. I don't think I've got that many more to do. I do want to wrap up the stream very soon. In fact, it's only this and Wild Guns to go. Yep, so this is what it looks like on Mega Drive. Nothing really to say about it. Hopefully Amiga will just work. I'm really annoyed that Rodland didn't work on Amiga. Because that's like, it wasn't just a like a minor glitch. It was something so catastrophic it crashed WinUAE, which I didn't really think was possible. But
it's certainly unexpected from this end, because well, the Rodland demo was based upon the Amiga Rodland, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, what I want. So the original Rodland had like that second set of levels. It was part of the original Rodland. It wasn't like a sequel. But they didn't put those levels, I think, into any of the home conversions until. Actually, I forgot. Have I not got Zelda on there? I haven't got Zelda on there for some reason. Oops. And yeah, so my idea was, well, let's bring those additional levels over to Amiga, but we'll also make it so that it uses the Amiga logic, because the logic for the Amiga version of Rodland was a bit different to the arcade. They fixed a few. I think it was to do with like Oh, there were some enemy behaviors that they didn't think made much sense in the arcade machine, so they tweaked them a bit to make more sense on Amiga. Oh, actually, why am I running this on Neo Geo? It's not going to work on Neo Geo. I should be running it on AGA. So yeah, Wild Guns was a Super Nintendo game, and Dante Mendes made this. I think it was a day after I added mouse support to Scorpion.
As I said, for the speed at which some people work is
yeah,
like awesome.
Let's just try changing that to. Oh, okay, yeah. So that WinUAE bug I mentioned before, but yeah, it works is the important thing, or at least it.
Secret rainbow mode.
Yeah, yeah. So the mouse, yeah. So. I have to try to work out if there's. What I might try to do, because I'm running a lot of these WinUAE settings from the command line. And I think that's a problem. Like if you have command line settings and then you go F12, I think WinUAE might be forgetting it. So what I should probably try to do is make it so that instead of running these from options from the command line, it creates a like a virtual like a configuration file and just stuffs it in a temporary directory, and so it runs that, and then hopefully that will solve these frustrating issues with you push F12 and then it all goes weird. But I'll tick that one up as a win. That seems to work. And lucky last is Zelda, and that's one that because it's fairly complex, it could break. I guess we'll see.
Like, what's the closest we ever got to Zelda on the Amiga? Was it Vesperis Legacy?
I think so. Was that Team 17 one?
It was, yeah. I was only
Oh,
trying to play that the other week actually for a different project, a mysterious other project which I help out with, and we had to try and source a version of the CD32 one, which I don't know why, but the CD32 version of the game had copy protection on it,
oh,
and I think the version we found with the crack to fix it was yours.
oh. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
It was a
yeah.
Team
I
17 thing, apparently. Um, some of the latest CD 32 releases had the copy protection where you'd have to input stuff from a manual.
Oh, yes. I think I remember doing something for like I think for some of those yeah, I just took the game and then I used like WHD load version or the copy protection crack or something just to get through it.
Well, yeah, either way, it worked. I mean, I was more shocked that the CD 32 version was expecting you to type in a word from a manual. But yeah, there was that, and I think there was two others. One was Worms, and the other one was possibly one of the Alien Breed games. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I was working with I think it was a Worms collection for CD32. I think that was also made by you. I was trying to replace the music tracks with 48 thousand is it 48,000 kilohertz, like full quality CD versions. Um, Managed to get it to work, but then there was other issues, not to do with the game itself, but to do with the other project stuff that I was working on.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyway, I digress.
Oh, sorry, I just that is quite loud. I'll just turn that down. Okay, yeah. So there are a couple of issues here that I need to fix. One is it not loading the level? No, okay, so that might be a similar issue to Rodland. For some reason, some games are not loading the levels, and I don't know why. That is pretty concerning, but uh, I will make a note of that. It could be just, well, partly because I've been, uh,
Any
I,
question?
yep.
Do any of those involve fading? On
Yeah, I was
well,
wondering that, but it doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to have any manual fading that could be related to that issue we saw on Phoenix Wright. Like there's a few like camera things in the intro, but I tried to skip that and it didn't seem to like it, so I don't know what's going on there.
hmm.
Um, but yeah, anyway, so there are unfortunately more issues with the experimental version of Scorpion than I thought there were. Uh, so that at least gives me a few things I need to fix, and then I don't know. I might do something similar in a couple of weeks while I'm where I test test a whole bunch of demos on stream while talking about them. But I think that's good to leave it there for now. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks Yen for joining me. It was really good.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Um, and yeah, I'll see who is raidable today. Um, who am I following that's raidable? You know, I'm gonna go Tid Zog again. So, oh, it looks like he's playing Dracula. That should be fun. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining stream, and I will catch you over on Tid Zog's channel in Ready to Raid, raiding right now. Okay, catch us later.